there and make it to the top. There's some FOD. He's picked foreign object debris.
Appreciate that. They're also wearing FOD covers on their shoes, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We want to make sure that they don't, track the side of Dragon when they go in. And so right before they enter the vehicle, they'll remove the FOD covers off of their boots.
You take for granted, all little details like that, all of the thought and preparation that has to go into literally every single piece of this operation.
I love the Mako 39A with the sleek black with the white ticking and the lines, and it's a very futuristic look for this iconic launch pad. And to think what's been there before with Mercury, Gemini, Apollo, shuttle, and now the SpaceX Crew Dragon for a launch to the International Space Station. Rocket fuel still going through my veins.
And we feel so honored to be able to launch from here. Oh, here they are. A really fast elevator.
Yeah.
I know, it really zips. That took them up to 255 feet in just a matter of seconds.
They were FOD covers?
It looks like they were just maybe checking something on his boot or leg.
We should hear a call any moment that the crew has arrived at the pad as they make their way up the stairs and they're headed to the crew access. There's the worm again. Popping.
You know it.
Meatball. And,
don't worry, there's a meatball on Crew Dragon.
Those white arrows you see there are essentially illuminating the way when who's up there to find their way to the escape basket in the event of an emergency that would require them to get far away from the rocket and the pad.
From this angle, but there's actually a phone right here, and I can't tell if it's Bob or Doug that's using the phone right now, but Leland, can you explain the significance of that? It's the same phone that was there.
Yeah, you get a chance to talk to maybe friends or family that you haven't maybe couldn't come to the launch. In this case, it's quite a few people, but just to have that last moment before you get in the vehicle. It's a beautiful view.
And we're watching the crew when they're done using the phone there. We expect them to be making their way into the crew access arm. And about T-minus 2 hours and 35 minutes, the astronauts will ingress, or that's a word we use to describe climbing into Crew Dragon. And we saw Doug, it's early on Wednesday. They were a little bit ahead of schedule, so that time could be a little bit flexible. But that's going to happen with the assistance of the suit techs, and they will get strapped. And so with that coming up, we're going to head over to Hawthorne for a preview of what's in store for the future in space travel. Jesse?
Thanks, Marie. Yeah, shortly after we begin to regularly fly NASA astronauts to and from the space station, SpaceX will bring private passengers to station and beyond using Dragon.
That's right. NASA is enabling up to 2 private astronaut missions to visit the station each year just to support economy in low Earth orbit. It's one of the many ways NASA's working to just open up access to outer space for companies to manufacture products and any new commercial modules in space, and really just to enable more people to be able to explore the stars firsthand.
And the more people out there exploring, the closer we become to becoming a multiplanetary species. Earlier, we showed you a first-hand look at where you would train if you were to fly with us, but now let's take a peek inside of the spacecraft itself.
Way to the escape basket.
Intuitive to know what we need to do at any given moment in time. When I comfort for the astronauts, it's really every aspect of how you could interact with the spaceship that comes to mind. We have 3 different seat sizes. We even go to holding the foam around the astronaut's body so that there's not any pressure points, and it's just generally a pleasurable journey to space. Dragon is a spaceship that's all about stability. We designed it to be 2 fault tolerant, which means that any 2 things could fail. So I could lose a flight computer and a thruster, and I could still come safely. We also added a launch escape system. If anything goes wrong on ascent, the crew can get away from Falcon and get picked up safely. I've worked on Dragon since 2012. When I see Dragon lift off, I think I'm going to feel a buildup of emotion of 8 years of work. The best engineers and technicians across the country that put their heart and mind into making this incredible moment happen for everybody.
All right, so that was a detailed look inside Dragon. Here's a live astronaut about to climb right in. If you're just now tuning in, you're watching our coverage of the mission known as Demonstration Mission 2 or Demo 2. Today, NASA are going to be sending people into orbit on a mission to the International Space Station from U.S. soil for the first time since 2011. Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley are the NASA flying today, and you can see them right there on screen. They are just right next to their ride up to space.
Yeah, very exciting. So as you can see, they have already arrived at Pad 39A, where Falcon 9 will lift off from at 3:22 p.m. Eastern Time today. They have ascended already, which is next to the rocket, and it's called the fixed service structure, and also have already walked down the corridor, which is known as the crew arm, which is what they're standing in.
That's right, and as they prepare to board Dragon, they have this one final stop they're standing in right now, and that's the White Room. The White Room is literally just the room at the crew arm that has an opening into Dragon. It is the last place on planet Earth Bob and Doug are going to be standing before they step into Dragon for their ride to the Internationals.
And the term the White Room was first used during NASA Gemini missions, where the room right before entering the spaceship was painted white. And as you can see, this tradition with painting ours white as well. And on Wednesday, they actually started a new tradition by signing the wall in the White Room. Fairly small area that has room for the crew and a few ground support